This is Theseus. He is king in Athens. He has a pretty big reputation. Upon returning home from war, Theseus chances upon some weeping widows on the road. Their husbands were killed in a battle with Thebes and the Thebanese king, Creon. Creon had disgracefully soiled their bodies. Theseus agrees to make war on Thebes to avenge this dishonor. This is Theseus being a champion and beating down Creon. After his glorious victory, Theseus sees two wounded Thebians and decides to spare their lives but make them prisoners for life. The names of these unhappy souls are Palamon and Archite. One day, from the tower in which they are imprisoned, Archite and Palamon spy upon Emily, the sister-in-law of Theseus and the most beautiful woman in Athens. They were impressed. Unfortunately, they were both impressed, and so they fought. Archite caught a break when a friend of his, who was also a friend of Theseus, came to Athens and arranged for his release. Unfortunately for Palamon, he was not included. Despite his friend's leverage, Theseus banished him from the city, never to return. Alas for poor Palamon, alone in his cell. He sees Emily on a daily basis, but is not allowed to profess his love for her because of his imprisonment. Archite is not so well either. He has his freedom, but he is banished from the only place he desires to be. Archite's misery causes his appearance to change so that he looked like a shadow of his former self. However, under his new appearance, he returns to Athens in disguise as Philostrato and becomes close to the councils of the king. And Emily continues to stun him. And Palamon. After a while, Palamon manages to escape and flees the city. Upon fleeing the city, Palamon chances upon Archite on the road. Easily seen through his disguise, Palamon unmasks Archite, and the two fall into fighting. In the midst of their barbarity, Theseus enters upon their struggle and separates the two, recognizing the two of them for who they really are. As Theseus raises his sword to make an end to them both, Emily cries out to the king to spare them, her reasoning being that their violence is not against Athens, but against each other because of their love for her, and should not be immediately executed. Theseus reconsiders and decides that 1 year from that day, Archite and Palamon would gather a force of 100 knights, each to fight in a tournament. Whoever won the tournament would win the hand of Emily. Archite prayed to Mars for victory in battle. Palamon prayed to Venus to win his love, and Emily prayed to Diana to remain celibate. Now the gods all desired to give their subjects what they wanted, but it was clear that they had conflicting interests. Wise Saturn intervened amidst their argument and pronounced a judgment that satisfied both sides.
Victory is mine! Grab your leg! Right!
After a year has passed, Archite wins the battle after wounding Palamon. After his victory, though, Archite falls off his horse in an earthquake sent by the gods and is mortally wounded. Emily grieves beside Archite as he lays dying, but Archite forgives Palamon and asks for Palamon's happiness. Emily grieves beside Archite as he lays dying, but Archite forgives Palamon and asks that for Palamon's happiness, Emily not refuse Palamon's love. Then he dies. After recovering from his wounds, Palamon and Emily get married and live happily ever after.
Okay, we walk off in it, bitch. Ballin' in it, bitch. Okay. Hopping out of Lambos and Ferraris in it, bitch. Poppin' bottle with a thick red supermodel, bitch. They may talk a lot of that, but they can't do a lot of it. Rico told me turn the lights on, so I grabbed the Audemars, threw the ice on.